Thank you for highlighting that. Okay, so Silver Python, you have updated yours to a different company by the looks of it. Company is iRobot. Still on household, and you'll be doing on a robotic vacuum cleaner. It will be interesting for you to as and when you are introducing your technology and providing that as a starting towards what your report is going to be about. I hope your team will be able to identify for example, when you start off with household appliances technology, it might be on a very high level. So you might want to consider trying to drill that down towards a particular area. Yeah. Okay. All right. So first things first, let us just do a quick tutorial from last week's lecture. All right. So I'll be switching on the tutorial now. So after the tutorial, I will then go into each of the group in terms of the work that you have done and the introduction to the company and technology, and I will review it so that everyone else gets to see it as well and hear about my comments overall. Yeah. All right, I see 26 of you in the call, which is good. Only 4 of you are missing. So do get in the quizzes, as you would see on the shared screen. All right, so I may not be waiting for every single one of you because some of you may get in, some of you for whatever that your internet issue may be. I will start anyway. So there are 10 questions for you to go through. We will run through it one by one. Yeah. So here would be the first question. For those of you who are still trying to get in, you can see the code at the bottom left here. So this is the first question. Technology is the application of what to solve problems. So obviously you will see that from you choosing the answer, you should be able to see that there's more than one answer, yeah? So you just need to take note whenever if it's a checklist where you are able to just identify the more than one answer. All right. 24 out of 5, 25. So one of you, by the looks of it, was a bit off. Okay. All right. So as shown here, oops. Interestingly. All right,
Someone's
microphone is on.
microphone is on.
Oh, sorry, not microphone. I think your speaker is on. I think Excel. Okay, you have muted yourself. All right. Anyway, so good to see that there are a majority here who has identified the tools and techniques, the skills and knowledge. So as part of our introduction last week, that is the main area and main message that you need to register in to realize that technology is not only about machines and devices. Yeah, it expands into other areas as well, and that's why you see here tools and techniques. You see in terms of skills and knowledge. But the one that, by the looks of it, lesser of you are choosing is also related, which is looking into materials and as well as energy. Yeah, so that will also be considered as part of technology, utilizing materials and energy as part of its application. Yeah, so people and companies here is not relevant. That's why, of course, there's the least there anyway. So do take these quizzes that we are doing on a week-to-week basis. It is something that is supposed to get you to also reflect and to revise. Yeah, it's not necessarily here to then tell you this is your performance, this is how bad you're going to do, but take this as a learning journey, right? Take this as something that you're supposed to learn from your mistakes and move on with. Next question. Which of the following are considered the importance of technology? Which of the following are considered the importance of technology? All right, 10 more seconds. So as you would know on quizzes, of course, the slight advantage of anyone who answers first, then you may score higher points. Again, 24 out of 25. I think the next round I have to find out who is it who's always missing out. All right. So the first three, I think everyone has evidently chosen. I'll just end the questions. All done. All right. So this question is mainly to get you to remember that these were the 5 areas that we touched on in terms of the lecture last week, right? There's education, communication, security, supplies, and as well in space. But when it comes to the importance of technology, I think all of us will easily realize that this can expand. There's so many other areas that technology has played a very important role in, right? So this includes if for your exam later, for example, you highlight something like healthcare, or you highlight a different area like entertainment, for example, those will also be considered relevant in terms of the answer. Yeah, I'm just highlighting this to you because this was what we covered within our materials mainly. All right, good. Good to see the majority of you still selecting, most of them at least, except for the last two, which is supplies and space. Next question. All right, so which of the following statements is true? Which of the following statements is true? So it says here statements, so I do hope you will see that there can be more than one statement that is true. Hoping to get more of you to answer. I will stop the timer to hopefully get everyone to answer. I think it's always the same person again and again. Is it? No? Oh, no. This time I see there's an answer. All right, good. Everyone is done. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, all right. So I think we need to spend a bit of time here. Oh, sorry, there's only one. I might have. Okay, sorry about that. I think I've updated the answers. The answers were not updated. So the correct answer is definitely the first one, and as well as the last one. Yeah, as well as the last one. Sorry about that. Yeah, the two in the middle, the answers that I have said is correct. They are not. They are incorrect. Right. These are the answers which are not true. The answers which are true is the first one and the last one as well. All right, so let's run through the statement. Anything newly introduced to a company is called new technology. Yeah. So I remember highlighting this to the class as well. It doesn't need to be a brand new technology. As long as it is a new technology to an organization, it will be considered new technology. Yeah. Commercially available technology is called emerging technology. So as we have discussed about emerging technology, it is something that is considered pre-commercialization. There's pockets of people who have started using it, but it's not widely available yet. Not everyone started utilizing it yet. Yeah. So emerging is only in a very early stage of it in terms of it being utilized, and therefore it being commercialized. So this statement is not true because it needs to say pre-commercialization. It's not widely and commercially available yet. All right. And when you look at the third answer, new technology will evolve in 5 years' time. So this is a statement not for new technology. This is a statement again for emerging technology. Yeah. So for emerging technology, it will therefore will have an evolution of within the next 5 years' time for it to become popular, for it to become widely commercialized. Last statement is true as well. So for both new and emerging technology must improve competitive advantage and productivity of an organization. So that is always one of the key areas. If you are introducing a technology to the company, to the business, and it does not do any one of these, then it's a very huge question on whether you should be investing into that particular project, into that particular technology or not. Yeah, so it's important to evaluate this aspect of it, that it must be able to improve competitive advantage. It must be able to improve productivity as well. Yeah. All right, great. Next one. So what category do consumer products industry fall under? There's only 3 possible answers here. I will leave the timer running for now. What category do consumer products industry fall under? High, medium, or low technology? All right, most of you are done except for one person here. 10 more seconds. All right. A quick view of the leaderboard. A lot of changes have happened. Okay, awesome. So a good majority knows that this is medium. When it comes to you reflecting on consumer products, there's a lot of aspect of it that will fall between a high and low technology. Yeah. So consumer products from day to day, if you want to place mobile phones, for example, or laptops, for example, to a lot of extent, they do sit in the medium technology because there's a lot of aspects that they cover extensively. They are not sophisticated and advanced enough to fall into high technology, and they are not considered a very manual or basic operations of a technology. So that's why most consumer products, technological ones especially, will fall under a medium technology, right? Okay, good. Next question. Which of the following is a characteristic of a low technology? Yeah. Which of the following is a characteristic of a low technology? So you need to really go through. There are 5 answers here. 10 more seconds. 5 seconds. Hoping that everyone answers. I've stopped the timer. Waiting for Nihad. Okay, done. A quick view of your leaderboard again. A lot of changes again. All right, so there are 3 correct answers here. Yeah. Which is the first and the last 2 answers. So as evidently seen, the 2 answers which are wrong, they are related to high technology. Yeah, high technology, because high technology has a significant R&D expense and their operations is mostly automated. So that relates towards high technology. The other 3 is correct. So number 1, it will be incremental changes whereby the changes for the change for the technology is not on a, it's not high speed, there's not a lot of major changes that happens to the technology. Yeah. And that's why it's considered incremental changes when it comes to products of when it comes to low technology. Yeah. Products of basic needs. So our day-to-day items as well. If you look at our day-to-day items in terms of at home things that you use, those are considered more of low technology. Low expertise workers. You do not need high skilled workers when it comes to low technology as well. So a lot of the aspects of manufacturing technology will fall under low technology because then they are not necessarily automated. They have very little changes from the time to time in terms of their evolution as well. Some of you may have noticed this. Wait, I think for your class, maybe not everyone, but in your case, I think there were major changes. Yeah, for most of you who have chosen your company in technology, most of them go through a major change in terms of how things work. Yeah, but if let's say someone here chooses a consumer product company and let's say like toothpaste or your day-to-day product of some food products, for example, then you will realize the changes were not that extreme. The changes are not, if you choose Coca-Cola as a company, for example, and go through the technology that they use, you may find out that there's not much of a change. They have tried doing a variation of their product, but there's not much changes in terms of their technology to create the product that they have. Yeah? All right. Moving on. Which category of technology can be transferred easily? Which category of technology here can be transferred easily? So relating back towards what we covered in terms of transferring technology, there is one answer here that fits in the bill, that basically fits in the characteristic mainly, yeah? All right. 5 more seconds. I shall stop the timer to hopefully get everyone to answer. All right. 28 of you are in the call, but there's only 26 of you on quizzes. So I'm wondering who's missing. Remember, yeah, guys, if you are not on quizzes and later when I check and you have done 0 things on quizzes as we go, I may even change your attendance to either a late or absent because you may be in the call but you're not doing anything. So do let me know if you're going through any issues rather than just keeping quiet and not doing anything there. Yeah. All right, so low technology. All right, so a lot of you chose low technology as well, but to be fair, low technology, not all of them are easily transferred. Yeah, not all of them are easily transferred when it comes to low technology. Okay. All right. There seems to be a connection problem on my camera. Can you guys still hear me? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, all right. So at least I know all of you can still hear me. Thank you. You can lower your hands. I think the camera is back on because I can see myself on it. But anyway, all right. So, but codified technology was what we covered about. These are fully documented fully documented in terms of an area that can easily be transferred. Sometimes a whole book or a whole guide in terms of how to use this technology, you can just pass it on to someone else and they can implement the technology on their own. Yeah. As we know, the opposite of codified is tacit technology, which requires a lot of experience, which requires a lot of practical experience for you to then consider it as a tacit technology. Yeah. So those, of course, are not very easily transferable. Okay. All right, moving on. Next question. This nature of technology is motivated by commercial value. Yeah, this nature of technology is motivated by commercial value. So this is quite straightforward. Either one, you remember pure science and you remember applied science. So which one here is then motivated by commercial value? All right, there's about 15 more seconds. Okay, one more person to go. All right, all done. Good. Okay, so 6 of you said pure science, 20 of you said applied science, which is good. Let me just try reaching out to someone. Yuan Ming, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Wow, awesome. You immediately spoke as soon as I called your name. Your answer is correct?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think pure science is motivated by?
Most motivated by the experience, I think, and then the teaching something else.
You said, sorry, you said what? Experience, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Anything else?
Experience.
Okay,
Nothing.
all right. Thank you, Yuan Ming. So pure science is actually motivated by something else. It's motivated purely by the need to know, because you are curious, because you want to expand your knowledge in a certain area. So pure science is more interested along those lines. Yeah, having a question to figure out and just to think about if something is interesting to you or not. Yeah. So I just realized that last week I remember asking. Oh yeah, I remember asking this last week, whereby I was inquiring from you. Oh wait, no, I think it's the other class. There is a group who has chosen. There is a group in the other class, not yours. There's a group in the other class who has chosen 3D printing as their technology. Yeah. Oh sorry, here. And then I remember asking this last week, because then we looked at 4D printing during the lecture. Yeah. So I'm not sure if anyone has gone into finding out what 4D printing is. So Samuel mentioned is mentioning in the chat to say R&D, but both will do their own R&D. Pure sciences have their own R&D. Of course, when it comes to applied sciences, they have their own R&D as well, but the focus is then a bit different. All right, awesome. Moving on. Last 3 questions. This nature of knowledge is for the sole purpose of extending knowledge. This nature of technology is for the sole purpose of extending knowledge. Yeah. So for those of you who have at least just has been listening to me when I was blabbering earlier, you should easily answer this, and it shouldn't take you too long. 25 seconds to go. There's still 5 more of you to go. More than enough time. There is 3 more of you to go. There is Ruth is done. Jamil. Oh yeah, Nihat is done as well. 5 more seconds, Jamil. Okay, time is up. So obviously, this is the opposite of the answer that you found earlier. I think most of you will have definitely gotten this correct. I still have to say most because I'm sure it's not everyone. So 3 of you still go to applied science. I was just explaining this earlier. This is what pure science is more interested in. Yeah. Just remember what examples of pure science, the 3 that I highlighted last week as well: biology, chemistry, physics. And obviously, as you would know, when it comes to them, certain exploration of certain areas is always more in terms of extending and expanding that knowledge. Yeah. All right. Next question, second last question. Technology may use knowledge from science and contribute to work in the pure sciences. Is this true or false? More than enough time, yeah? Technology may use knowledge from science and contribute to work in the pure sciences. So do you think this is true or false? Okay, there's about 15 more seconds and only one more of you to go. After I've highlighted that 2 of you are missing from the quizzes, I still do not know who is missing. So which begs the question of, are you really in the call? Okay, all right. So 3 of you, again, 3 of you got it wrong. I wonder if it's the same 3 people. But this is what we are trying to talk about when both areas may help each other. Yeah, areas of pure sciences can help to improve applied science. But don't forget, as you can see, areas of applied science can also contribute back towards pure sciences. Yeah, so that's one area that you will definitely need to identify and to see that they are both contributing towards each other. Okay. All right, so Tina is saying, I'm missing due to internet connection. Okay, I hear a problem, so please find a way to solve it. Yeah, Tina? Identify a solution rather than having to say that for the rest of the semester that there is always an internet connection. So maybe try figuring out around the issue. Last question. You're trying. All right, okay. Last question. The nature of technology often considers the changes or side effects towards its surrounding. Yeah, so it's the statement here says the nature of technology is always considering the changes and side effects towards its surroundings. Is this true or is this false? All right. 10 more seconds. I think most of you, all of you are done. All right, awesome. Okay, all right. Yeah. So as you will see, the nature of technology on how it has come about, to be honest, it does not fully consider all the side effects and changes towards its surrounding, to be honest, right? It's only recently that people started talking about it and then to find ways around it. But the nature of technology doesn't really take that into consideration. When cars were created, when electricity was created, when of course we are drawing a lot of electricity from sources that we know for like fossil fuels, which is another topic that we'll speak about later. A lot of this does not take into consideration of the environment. Yeah, to be fair. So it is not the nature of technology to always consider the side effects, right? And we are saying that, and it's important to understand that statement because now moving forward, any newer technology must take into consideration the environment. Because as we can see, the nature of technology prior to this does not really take into consideration all of that. Yeah. Our transportation industry has been contributing to a lot of issues, but it's not like we are stopping any of them or fine. There might be newer technologies that come around to improve them, but in its original nature, it is something that is negatively affecting the environment at the end of the day. All right. Okay, so 2 of you who said false, 24 of you said true. To be honest, like I said, as I've just explained, it is not the nature of technology to take into account its side effects. It is just supposed to improve a particular area, is supposed to increase productivity in a particular area, and that is more of the nature of technology that, and its concern is mainly about. Yeah. All right. Great. That is the last question. Let's see how everyone did. So this is your top three: Axel, Uzma, and Wei Huan. All right. There's a lot of changes in the top three all the way until the end. Okay, so we have gone through most of the questions. I think overall, as being highlighted here, oops, can I scroll to the right? No. Okay. Yeah. So there are a few, of course, major questions that was a bit more lower in terms of the accuracy, but I've explained through all of those anyway. Question 8 seemed to be the one that most of you have gotten. Question 8 and question 9 are the ones that most of you have gotten correct. All right. So again, as I've highlighted and I've mentioned that this is something that you should take. This is something that you should take and to consider it as a learning curve, right? To incorporate it as your learning part of your learning. It's not here to then tell you that you're doing bad. For those of you who are doing well, it doesn't mean that then you do not need to study anymore. So the whole idea is for you to then realize where you are at and knowing what to do next. For those of you who did well, of course, you want to improve further. No one here necessarily got all correct anyway. Yeah, so we are all here to learn. So please understand that this is not meant to evaluate you. This is not meant to put you at a scale to then say that, oh, you are one of the poorer students or you're one of the better students. Definitely not in relation to that. Okay, I need to make that clear because from week to week, you will definitely see activities like that as well. All right, awesome. I will exit this. We are done with the quizzes. So for our next quick activity, I've just created the whiteboard in this particular channel. All right. So just for a quick activity, I wanted to do this. So if you go into our channel together, which is Tutorial Engineering and BF, if you notice there, someone already liked it. Winky has already liked it. So you will see I've created a whiteboard, particularly for this week. Yeah, it's called week 3. So when you click onto it, up to you whether you want to open it in Teams. I think I've highlighted this to you before. I normally like to open it on the browser because I feel it loads faster on the browser. All right, it's an empty canvas as of now. Now, what I need you to do is that as a group, all right, as a group, I'll just type down the instructions here so that you get to see it anyway. So as a group, what I need you to do, all right, as a group, this is what I need you to do. Identify technologies used in the campus. Right? So the first thing you need to do here is as simple and straightforward as that. Identify technologies used in the campus. Of course, the next one is you list out its pros and cons. Okay. The next part that I want you to work on is to come up with a technology wish list for the campus. Yeah. Identify a few, don't go too many. I'm not expecting you to go up to 10 or something. If you can identify within about 3 or even up to 5 technologies that you would like to put under your wish list to see in the campus, then this is something that I want you to do. So, but of course, there's 2 parts to the questions. Yeah. First part is to identify the technology. Please at least identify and know what their pros and cons are. Number 2, come up with a technology wish list. Yeah. So who should be doing this? This should be done by everyone. However, you're going to do this in your groups. So I want everyone to come to this particular whiteboard. If you are from, I suddenly can't remember anyone's group name. I will start with the first one. If you're Black Koala, then label it here. Use the text, for example. Label it as Black Koala. All right. And then put your answers under it. So everyone need to find a space somewhere in the canvas. It's a huge space. You can find somewhere to be together. If you want to use the notes because you feel it's easier to identify your work within the notes, you can add additional notes. You can even add a grid if you want to. I will leave that totally up to you. Yeah, I'm undoing all this first. Otherwise, if you think you want to use a shape or templates, maybe not as advisable as of now, but I will leave it to you to decide. Mainly, you can use notes and leave your information and answer in there. Yeah. So this is an activity which is by group. This is what I want everyone to answer. So there's two parts to the question. Identify technologies used in the campus. Of course, cover their pros and cons as well. And identify a technology wish list that you would like to have for the campus. Any questions? You are doing this in your groups. So in terms of the discussion, I will allow you to, if you want to start a call together, you want to put this main call on hold, all of you start a call together in your own channel. I will leave it to you to do it. If you think there is no need for that, you're just going to chat with each other in the channel, I will leave that for you to do it as well. Yeah. When I say chat in the channel, that means chat in your own respective channels. Yeah. Black Koala does it in their own, Black Orca does it in their own, Black Panda does it in their own. If that helps you out, you can do that as well. Yeah, so I will leave that up to you to decide. So every group will need to come up with a set of answers. So please do that, of course. And we will be back in, I will give 15 minutes first. Let's see how it goes. I will come back and review the whiteboard to then hopefully see more answers and see some established answers here. Don't take too long. Like I said, don't end up overthinking this and coming up with too complicated answers. I just want you to discuss with each other, come up with a set of answers that all of you agree to together. All right. So please do that. I'm giving you 15 minutes and start now. Since there are no questions by the looks of it. Is there a question in the chat? Let me just check. Right, no questions. Please start now. The timer is ongoing. You know where the whiteboard is. You can get in and start identifying. Don't worry if your answers are the same. Yeah, so put that aside. Right, I'm hoping most of you are back. Can I see a show of hands if you can hear me and see me? Only a few of you are here as of now. I see Uzma and Ruth's hands are up, but everyone else seems to not be back yet. Winky, Tina. Where is everyone else? Okay. So it says Black Collar is back. All right, good. What about the rest? Hopefully to get everyone back, because everyone else has been still showing as on hold on my call list at least. All right, so we'll move to your whiteboard for a quick one, just to find out in terms of the ones that have been identified and you are done with the activity. Even if you're not done, don't worry. This was supposed to be an exercise to get you to start identifying technologies, see what technologies do they fall under, and so on. Yeah. All right. So on the top left here, I see Black Koala with quite a complete answer. Can I get Black Koala to go first? So you have identified the 5 here is Moodle, face recognition, spelling is wrong, digital textbook, electric scooter, supercomputer. Electric scooter. I wonder what is that? Black Koala, what is electric scooter? Oh, for those of you who, Winky, your hand is still raised. You can lower your hands here.
Hi,
So
sir.
yeah, yes, hi, I can hear you.
Also, basically, you said about the electric scooter, right?
Yeah.
It's basically like, you know, the security guards, they use the electric scooter to escort around the campus. Yeah, so the electric scooter is basically the meaning of it, like the technology.
The security guard user.
Yes, users like to
Oh,
like go around the campus to check something like that.
this buggy looking one, right?
Uh, yeah, I think.
Somewhere along those lines, something like that. All right.
Maybe
Okay, all
he
right.
meant the two wheels one, sir. The one where the
Sorry?
students also use. I think he also meant the one that the student ambassadors sometimes use. The one with the two wheels. Someone posted in the meeting chat picture. Someone posted in the meeting chat.
The chat. The image is loading for me. Oh, okay, all right. I forgot the name, but I just remember one of the the brand. Oops. Segway. I think that's the one. Segway 9bot. I think this is the one that we have as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, a lot of companies have this now as well. 9bot is one of the companies that was doing it. Segway was the most popular organization who came up with it to begin with. All right, I know what you're talking about. All right, fine, good. Supercomputer, are you referring to a particular computer somewhere where you call it a supercomputer?
Alienware, I think the school got users like the
Yeah.
certified the computer.
Whether it's considered a supercomputer or not, I think that's my question here. But yes, it will be a much more higher performance device around. I would agree to that. Okay, all right. Pros can be accessed anywhere. Again, wrong spelling. Yeah, I'm assuming you wanted to say access, which is ACCESS. Secure, fast, convenient, easy to use. All right. Cons, expensive, constantly needs upgrade, needs servicing. I think everything, these two parts of it, of course, comes with all technology. There's the wear and tear, there's the maintenance to it. So I think that's fair enough to identify. All right, run through quickly your wish list and tell me what do you mean by these three things here?
So basically, the first one is the trading room. So the trading room for our wish list is basically like for students, right? We wish to have a trading room so that the students, like business students or like in the faculty of the business, they can learn to trade inside this room to learn like some people used to learn investment or used to learn the how to trade with in the stock market, so they can use this room and learn. I think.
Okay, all right. But what does that
Yeah.
has to do with the technology wish list?
Because this trading, right, I think that it's very, it needs a lot of time. So I think it's sir, can you
Actually,
repeat your-
trading room, right? Like in Taylor is one of the example have this room, and what they prepare for the student is like they have calculated everything's inside. I just remember like PC and then desktop, and then they have a projector, big screen in front of it, and they have a TV on top of the corner, the like showing or what's the stock price now, like just in the Wolf Street trading floor. You got what I mean?
Okay, all right. The room sounds very simple, lah. It's just a basic room with a TV
Uh,
there that shows the
I
stock.
think
And
there's something special, but I'm not sure what is it.
okay, all right. Never mind then. Thank you. VR spec. We already got a VR, AR, VR lab, what?
This room for VR spec is totally related to metaverse. So in the future, they have a better version of VR spec. Now the VR spec is quite simple and there's less function, right? In the future, there's more type of VR spec that can be used in the metaverse. So this is for in the future, not now.
Okay, all right. Autonomous vehicles to do what in the campus?
This like okay, you know like a bus will be can fetch those students to LRT station or even like to school. So with these autonomous vehicles, this is one of the income funnels from college for APU. So like the autonomous vehicles can set at school, and then who want to use the autonomous vehicles, they can just like set, okay, I want to go this place. So the student can just pay, and then the vehicles will fetch him or her go to the destination. And
Okay.
then once he reach, the autonomous vehicles will go back to the APU campus.
All right, awesome. Quite futuristic enough. Thank you so much, Black Koala. So Black Orca has identified projector, app space, access card. Fine, those areas can be considered the technology here. Help teachers share easily during class, make easier for students to access. High cost, require frequent maintenance, distraction, can't able to access if card lost. Sometimes there's a bug. All right, common issues to be highlighted with technology. Nothing too specific, I would say, but fine, good enough. Wish list is still VR in education. XR, not even VR. So, Black Orca, can you explain your wish list? All right, it has been good speaking to myself. In the chat, Samuel says, I think the VR room is not open to public. So you can have access to it, yeah? You just need to identify, I can give you the contact to the lecturers if you want to, and to identify what you want to do in the VR room, yeah? If you want to experience it, if you want to do something in it. Of course, it's better if you're working on a particular project to utilize VR, then you can even work on that, no issues. Go in just to experience it, you can as well, not an issue. If you're interested, just reach out to me. I will let you know who the staffs are who are in charge of the rooms. Then you can get to go and experience it. Yeah. But if you're saying public, as in open up to public, then definitely not. But to the students, yes. Okay, I'm moving on because I don't want to wait anymore. If I go down, who do I see? Oh, there's someone all the way at the end here as well. Now I see it. All right, I will cover the next one first. Silver Python. Silver Python highlighted. Infrared temperature scanner, good. The Pro, only one. Oh, I think you break it down into, okay. Pro, ensure students and lecturers are safe. Con, expensive. Student identification card. No pro and con. Tech wish list, AR and simulation. Everyone is going back into this again. So can I just find out from, I forgot the group's name. Silver Python, what AR and simulation are you expecting? Okay, another group that is not here. I'm just going to ignore you and move on. Is Green Dodo here before I go through your list? Is Green Dodo here? Yes, awesome, good. So you identify that we have AR for verification of student identity. Cons may not be reliable. Access card can be tracked using AppSpace. Cons can be lost easily. Screen mirroring, no need to pay for some application. Cons depends on the internet connection and expensive. Yep, so most of our projectors are paired with these. E-library, convenient to student, a lot of work for librarian. E-library, why is there a lot of work for librarian, yeah?
Sir,
Yep.
the word like some old book that don't have the ebook version, so the librarian need to scan one page, one to one page.
They have to scan every page of the book and then to make it into an ebook.
Yeah,
Are you sure the librarians are doing this?
not sure.
As far as I'm aware of, they are definitely not doing this. If it's an older book, well, the physical book is there. You can access the physical book if you want. Number two is that, of course, it's already an old book. There's no point of trying to put it so much onto to make it an ebook to begin with. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So your wish list is to implement e-wallet into AppSpace. I thought we already did that. You can even view your expenditure and how much you spend in WebSpace in AppSpace as well. So what do you mean by this?
Like the Touch and Go e-wallet, we can scan the QR code to pay for the some spends in our campus.
I see. Instead of using your app card currently, you're saying is to just incorporate any available e-wallets like GrabPay or Touch and Go and so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Interesting suggestion. I will go back to here. White Tigers, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. Telecommunication, education, pros and cons. Online learning using projector, cons, technical issues, well, happens to the best of us. Digital student cards, convenient payment, easy access, inconvenient when card is lost. Cannot park car, cannot borrow book, cannot access places that needs to scan card. Yeah, I think that's a good point as well. If you lose your card, then what happens? Until the point that you get your card back, is there anything that can be as a backup until then? Yeah. So Sardar says, I'm not able to enter into the class. I do not know what does that mean, Sardar. Why can't you just join back into the call? So I'm not sure what the issue is. Maybe because some of you, your call is still happening and running in your channels. I can see that even though some of you are back in this call, I can still see some of the calls are going on. I'm not sure if maybe you have not left the other channel yet, but please double check on that. Yeah, Black Orca has ended their call. Red Wolf, a call is still running. Silver Python, a call is still running. So just double check on that, yeah? Maybe that's why you are not able to come back to class. All right, moving on. Wish list again with VR. What's up with you guys and all about VR? So White Tigers, what do you mean by your VR learning here?
So for example, in engineering right now, we can't access the lab. So the lecturer suggested that we use some online software to like make some lab simulations. But I think it'll be
Yep.
better if we have VR learning to do the lab, so it'll be 3D and we can see the actual tools needed for the experiment.
Okay. All right. All right. Awesome. Good. I'll move on to the next group. I see one here. Red Wolf, are you here? I see Kai
Yes.
Feng saying yes. All right, awesome. Auto tracking camera, track the lecturer movement. No need to move manually. No need to move Okay, no need to move the camera manually. Takes time to set up. Might confuse when more than one people. Wish list is EMAP. What is this about?
To let if we don't know where to locate the lecture hall, then we can use like Sunway Pyramid. They have those iPad to search.
I
Something like that.
see. Okay, all right. Interestingly, where would you like this EMAP to be, in your app space or in a separate app, or what do you expect?
I think put on an app space is better.
Okay, all right. Awesome, thank you. Black Panda, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Student card identification, easy to identify student, card can be lost. All right. Tag wish list, facial recognition to identify the student. So is this not happening now?
I have not experienced it on campus yet, so I have no idea. But I mean facial recognition everywhere. So there are like what's it called? Not me forgetting, but like to enter classes, to enter some classrooms, you use your ID cards, right?
Yep.
But sometimes if you lost that card, then you can't enter the class unless you call someone and explain to them the entire situation, which can be a huge hassle. This is per
Yep.
experience of my brother, so that's why I mentioned.
Okay, all right, understood. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
This is currently done for staff members. All of the APU staff, academic or non-academic staff, has a facial recognition already implemented to, of course, for contact tracing purposes, to make sure they can identify exactly who is here, and so on. But I think for students, yeah, now you will need to tap your card most of the time anyway. All right. So it's something that can definitely be implemented, and it wouldn't take too long of a time. I'm not sure if everyone is back. So earlier, the two groups that I was looking for and you were missing, are you back? I was looking for Black Orca earlier, but no one replied. Is Black Orca here? Okay, moving on. All right, so good. For some of you, for some of the groups, especially within the 15 minutes, I was definitely expecting for you to identify more than one, right? More than one technology, because there are multiple technologies going on within the university anyway. All right. In terms of your wish list, I noticed, of course, there is a lot of similarities across, and a very common theme across that most of you were choosing from. So interestingly, in relation to that, yeah. Oops. This is weird. White Tigers, you already got a note there, but then you still type on top of a box and then you put it on top of the note. Interestingly to see. Okay, we are done with that. I just wanted to quickly brief you about the next week's task. All right, so the next one is components of technology, as you will see here. And hand-in date is next week. This week, I'm supposed to already see by today, introduction to the company and technology. So when it comes to the components of technology, what should you be doing? Components is straightforward and simple. You have to classify your technology. So we have done this as of now. The classification is this high, medium, low, or codified, or tacit, and you have those areas to look at in terms of the classification of your technology. Yeah. So identify that, which is a bit more straightforward. List and explain the breakdown, components and subcomponents. So you will need to see in terms of how would you be able to break down your components of the technology. Yeah. If you're talking about something more of a hardware, your hardware now, of course, have to be broken down into its main components. Whether you want to go down to its raw materials or not, I will leave that up to you. But for some of you, in terms of your technology, talking about your raw materials can be interesting. For example, the groups who are doing on NVIDIA and looking into GPUs, yeah? What kind of materials actually is being used to build a GPU is something you can actually explore as well, all right? And then, of course, if some of you, it is more of a service, then you have to identify the supporting infrastructure towards your service. So this is the first thing that you have to differentiate. Is yours a product that involves raw materials, and therefore you need to speak about their subcomponents of that product, or is yours considered more of an infrastructure and service? Yeah. So going back to this list, I think most of you are definitely talking about a product per se, like 3D systems or iRobot when you break down your robotic vacuum cleaner. Same thing here for both of you. Sorry, same thing here for NVIDIA. Maybe you can look into that. But companies like Black Panda, Uber here, and also IBM, AI Watson, you're not focused on the materials part of it, right? You're focusing more on because it is more provided as a service, you're focusing more on the infrastructure. So what contributes towards the infrastructure for your service? E-hailing, what is required? You need to find out about, of course, the back end of the technology. There are servers which are involved. There are other aspects of the technology involved. There is, of course, the telecommunication service providers that must come into the picture. And same thing goes with, of course, IBM Watson. You need to talk about how, based on what technology does Watson basically work on. Yeah, so you need to break down that component. If you're talking about the brain behind Watson, what does the brain make of? Right, so you need to research into that mainly. Tesla, of course, then Tesla is not the service. Tesla here, the electric cars goes into breaking down the component of the electric car. So you need to then segregate the parts and to identify what are the main contributors, main parts of the electric car itself. Red Wolf, which is doing on 5G. So 5G is not a product per se. The 5G is a service, right? You can't identify 5G as something which is physical. However, behind 5G, there are a lot of supporting infrastructure, right? What is required? If you're talking about fiber optics and things like that to then ensure that 5G can be supported, how do you speak about those? How do you highlight those? And how do you break them down into the subcomponents and so on? So components of the technology is pretty much taking your technology and breaking it down into smaller parts to then explain them better. That's basically it. Can I hear questions from you in relation to this week's task? Sardar is adding on to say, I was thinking of adding teleportation in a wish list, but this is so much more further into the future. I'm not sure if we are ever going to reach teleportation, but good wishful thinking by you, Sardar. I thought you were not in class. After the whole class today, now I'm here. Now I'm seeing a chat from you. Uzma says, all good so far. Sorry, what?
I joined the class at 9. I was half an hour late.
No wonder it's extra quiet today. Okay, all right, Sardar.
No purpose.
Okay, so I think everyone is clear. The next task is for you to do your components. So I just wanted to address this part of it. I just wanted to address that all of your official submission needs to be within the channels, yeah? So for example, when I go into Black Koala, it is labeled very clearly to say that this is the submission for, this is just the discussion. So as you can see, if you all are still discussing, I do not consider that the final submission, yeah? I want you to indicate clearly that this is the official submission for the particular week's task. So for example, this is week 3. You're supposed to submit the week 2's task. So you must indicate clearly that this is your official submission. Then I will look at it. Then I'll be able to give you comments about it. Yeah. If I don't comment, most probably that means everything is fine. If there are issues, that is where I will come in and just leave a few comments there, leave a few questions there that you can respond to, and at least try to improve your work. Yeah. So same thing here, Black. Yes.
Sorry for the interruption, but our group, the official file is uploaded.
Yours is Black Koala?
No, Black Panda.
You are Black Panda.
Yep.
I'm
So
going
if you
into
go to the
yeah.
file section, it's there.
So I'm supposed to go to the file section.
Yeah, right next to the posts.
Okay.
Yep, PT group assignment draft 1.
All right. So that is something that I need to guess, right, Uzma?
Okay, then I'll post
Yeah.
it then.
So it will be
Okay.
better and it will help me out to identify because I don't see the document here. Interestingly, it's better that if it's in the list of the posts, and even in terms of timeline and date, it wouldn't go wrong either because it shows clearly you have submitted on time as well. When you put it into files here, unfortunately, whenever you make any changes into the file, I see the latest modification. But I would like, yeah, so I would like to see in terms of as of when you posted it here, that I will consider as you have already put the work here at that particular date. Any changes after that, of course you can do, no problem. As I've highlighted to everyone, this is a draft. You can continue modifying it and changing it. But your official post here will be considered your final submission per se for that week's task. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
All right, awesome. So same thing here, and then Black Orca, of course, Black Orca, one of the more quiet groups of mine. There's a lot of meetings going on, but I do not see any outputs yet. Like I said, even though yes, you see, I can see some documents here, but I do not want to guess which is your final documentation. Yeah, I want to know clearly that that is considered your final documentation. So put in your post. Now, for example, I'm expecting everyone to do this by the end of today, to say that this is your official week 2 task submission, to finalize it there. Yeah, then I can go in and quickly take a look. Later on, you want to make any modifications because I will also ask you questions. I will also give you some comments, then you can improve it later on. Same thing goes with Green Dodo. Yeah, so I don't see any documents here yet. Same thing goes with Red Wolf. I don't see an official document yet. Same thing goes with Silver Python. All right, so once you put it there, then I will be able to see that that is your official submission there. Yeah. Silver Python, someone is still in the call. Who's this? Aaron. Interestingly. But anyway, okay, so that is done. Oh, sorry, one more. White Tiger. So yeah, I will just need to see an indication to say that this is your final submission. This is what you have done as of now. And every week during your tutorial, that is when you should be, that is your automatic due date for the task from the week before. Like today, I've just informed you about components of technology. So by next week on the 30th of November, that is the due for components of technology. Today is the due for introduction to company and introduction to technology. All right. Since Black Panda has highlighted it a bit, I will just use Black Panda as an example and to maybe just run through your introduction to company and technology. Oh, okay. All right. Done. That's it. All right. Black Panda. I hope I'm calling the right group. Black Panda, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. First comment. Don't you think there should be some subtitles here?
This is the draft, so we just wrote paragraphs, but the subtitles and the titles, the table of contents, everything will be sorted out later.
Yeah, but for a weekly task, some subtitles allow me to know what is your main information there. Otherwise here, I need to go through every single line and I need to guess what is this. For example, I'll be reading this. And is it safe to say that this is all introduction to the company?
Okay, I see your point. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So if it's a draft is better when you have your breakdown of the subtopics, then at least all of you in the group are also clear each part of this, what are you talking about, right? And I suddenly see a paragraph here. So if I see a paragraph here, I'm assuming this has already gone into introduction of the technology. But I think I'm not right.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
We will add subtitles.
Okay, all right. Then the last part I see, like this one, it starts off and I immediately know this whole topic, this whole paragraph should be why you have chosen the company and the technology. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So just break it down a bit further, a bit more. because if you notice in my guide that I provided you, there's a few things you need to highlight as well. If you break it down
Yeah.
according to that, at least it makes it clear for you and your whole group. In your submission later, it won't follow. In your submission later, I agree, it will look very similar to this. It's a whole paragraph of you explaining, but of course, obviously, the subtopics will still need to be there. But it doesn't need to break down so specific according to my guide. One thing I would just like to highlight to everyone. Thank you, Uzma. One thing I would just like to highlight to everyone is that when what I show you in the guide, right? It's meant to be a guide. Yeah, it's meant to be a guide. You do not necessarily need to follow everything word by word. It's supposed to give you an idea, right? So for example, here I should be able to find these things in there. Yeah, I should be able to find it across and to see it in there. There's a group yesterday who asked me and said that, oh, is there a difference between the history of technology and the transition from past till now? Yeah. So when I wanted to explain this for some groups, of course, they will see that this is very similar to each other. No issues. You can combine them together and speak about it together as well. But at least you cover these points as you go. All right. So in your draft submission, maybe you want to show me that you have done all these 6 areas and so on. Fine, no problem with that. In your actual submission, of course, you won't divide it into these 6 areas. I'm going to see introduction to the technology overall, then maybe 1 or 2 subtopics underneath. That's it. Right? So, of course, the division of what are the subtopics under the introduction to technology, that is where you and your whole group and your team can decide. But overall, of course, at least this highlights certain areas for you to look into. Yeah. Like for example, earlier when I look at Black Panda, I realized then, oh, I don't really see what is the mission and vision of the organization. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. And as you can see, if I were to review this on a weekly basis, I really have to go in and read and find out and see, which will take a lot of time. You are submitting a draft so that I know you are in the right direction. So show me that you are in the right direction. Yeah. I may not want to end up reading every single word, because if I do that, that is something I'm only supposed to do at the end of the semester, right? To read through in detail in terms of your work. Now it's just to review your draft as we go and to at least know that you are on track. And that's mainly it. Okay. So I'm just using I'm just using Black Panda as an example. So everyone, please take note. I'm looking forward to see your official draft submission within the particular within your channels. And here's another thing: please ensure that you name your files accordingly. Just because I was looking at Black Panda's one, I'm gonna use it as an example as well. You see, when I look at this, I have no idea which one is considered your official submission. But if you name it accordingly, maybe use the word final in the beginning, right? Final week 2 task, then put it there. So at least I don't need to bother with these other documents to know what they are. Like for example, here I see a document that says doc 1. I will have to go in and click on it just to find out what's going on. So rather than wasting time doing that, it's better that you name your files accordingly and standardize them. So final week 2 task, final week 3 task, and then you leave it there. I will refer to as and when you post it, then it makes things much more easier. All right. So Saad is asking, I thought I've explained this before, but never mind. Will we be having an individual assignment? The answer is again no. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, for like the Black Orca. Sir, can we submit our file tomorrow? By tomorrow?
By tomorrow. What's the issue?
Yeah. Like, sir, like 3 of us like today have 4 classes.
Sorry, what's that?
Like I said, sir, we have 4 classes today.
All right. You will basically be using your one-time chance to submit it late, because now the rest of the semester you won't be able to submit it late anymore. Do you get it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
Okay,
go ahead.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. This should be the correct group. Here's your attendance. Oh no, it's 10:01. I will need to move this a bit. Okay, here you go. All right, awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. I'll see you for the lecture on Thursday. So once you're done with your once you're done with your attendance, you're allowed to go. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye. Oh, wow, everyone is here. But there's only 28 of you in the call. Interesting. All right, okay. If there are no questions, I shall leave the call now. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Bye.